Before the desert sands rose, before Kush forged iron, before Kemet carved its first hieroglyph into stone, African theologians tell a story of a man whose footsteps would echo across the Nile Valley. His name was Haam, known in English as Haam, son of Nuh or Noah. In African-centered tradition, Haam was not the father of slaves, but the ancestor of the earliest Nile Valley civilizations, a builder, a traveler, a carrier of sacred knowledge. Today, we follow the African interpretation of Haam's journey, who he was, where he traveled, and how Africa remembers him. African scholars such as Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. Ben Jokanan, and Dr. John Henrik Clark emphasize. The story of Haam is not about race. It is about migration, civilization, and the rebirth of humanity after catastrophe. In African theology, Haam represents the Southern Journey, the restorer of the Black Kingdom lineages, the ancestor associated with Kemet, Kush, Punt, and early Sudanic peoples. The biblical names Kush, Mizraim, Put, Canaan are not European inventions. They are African lands with African languages recognized by African historians. Kush, ancient Sudan, Nubia. Mizraim, ancient Egypt, Kemet. Put, Libya, Tamazga. Canaan, Afro-Asiatic, Levant with deep African presence. His descendants are connected directly to the oldest civilizations on Earth. African scholars place Haam's journey after the flood in the region we call today Northeast Africa. The Nile corridor from Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt extending into the Great Lakes region. African oral traditions describe that Shem remained largely in Asia. Japheth moved north. Haam traveled south into Africa. But where did Haam's footsteps land? According to the traditions of the Beta Israel of Ethiopia, the Agau and Kushite priests, Haam first journeyed into the highlands of Abyssinia, a region ancient Africans called Tanejeru, the land of the gods, Punt, the divine homeland. Nubian theologians often describe Africa as the first land to emerge after the waters, and so it is fitting that Haam would step onto the Horn of Africa, a cradle of humanity. Here, Haam's lineage took root through Kush, a name meaning the Black One, the powerful ancestor of Nubia. From Haam came 4 sons whose footsteps would shape the future of an entire continent. Their names were Kush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Not just names in a genealogy, but the ancestral fathers of nations. Kush journeyed south, following the long sweep of the Nile. His descendants became the people of ancient Kush, the builders of Kema, Napata, and Meroe, the black pharaohs who once ruled Egypt itself. Mizraim moved westward, entering the fertile lands of the Nile Delta. His children established Kemet, the civilization the world now calls Egypt, a land of science, writing, astronomy, and kingdoms that would stand for thousands of years. Put traveled toward the vast deserts of North Africa. His lineage formed the families of Libya, the ancestors of Berber and desert peoples who crossed the Sahara long before the world knew its name. And Canaan remained near the eastern coast of the Mediterranean. From his line came the early Canaanite cities, whose sailors and traders would one day venture into North Africa and beyond. These four brothers, sons of Haam, became the roots of Africa's earliest civilizations. Their names were carved into the land, preserved by African memory, and honored through generations of kings, priests, scribes, and storytellers. This is not merely geography, it is lineage, legacy, and the beginning of Africa's ancient greatness.